Hey guys, so I wanted to do a little pick-a pile reading for you. This video is going to be time-stamped. So after the intro, if you feel you know which pile you're drawn to, then you can just go ahead and skip to that portion of the video. I'll put all the timestamp info in the description below. As always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing to my videos, and even sharing this channel. It's really helping it grow a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed, I suggest you do. That way you won't miss out on any of my content. So whenever you subscribe, make sure you turn on the notifications. Yeah, turn on the notifications. Because I know there's a lot of people that have been complaining that they haven't been getting notified whenever I put out my new stuff, even though they're subscribed. But yeah, so, and this is a general reading, so, it's for the collective, so just take what resonates, leave the rest. And this one is going to be about what you need to hear right now in this moment in time. So again, it's timeless. So if you're seeing this 2 months from now, 3 months from now, that's what it is. Also, I suggest after you do pick a pile, do it, whatever, if you feel like checking out other piles, go for it. You're not limited to only one, but also later, in the future, if you feel led to come back to the readings and see if a different pile resonates for you, based off new circumstances and different things happening in your life, check it out. You can even check out some of my old videos right now too. Some of my old pick a pile videos, some of those might resonate for you and you might be drawn to those. Just follow your intuition in that. So just go ahead, focus on the question of what you need to hear right now, or ask Spirit what you need to hear right now. And then keeping that in mind, just pick the pile that you're most drawn to. And as I said, the timestamps will be in the description below. So we've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Hey, pile 1, so if you picked pile 1, this is your pile. So let's see. And I'll put the decks in the description below. I don't remember if I said that in the beginning or not. I feel like this one. Alone in the world. Some of you guys may feel, here I'll show you a little bit better. Some of you guys may feel like it's a situation where you feel like you're, you feel alone, yeah, but also you feel like you're spied on or prying eyes to the point to where it almost emphasizes your aloneness. It emphasizes them in a distance and you where you are. So some of you guys might even be dealing with a situation where you feel alone in your situation, that no one understands you, and the people that can see you are looking from their viewpoint, their keyhole, and you feel like it's so removed from you that they don't even understand where you're coming from. There may be some of you also, it's like you're trying to get out in this situation. You're trying to either get out or get things started and get things moving to, what you're being called to do. And it just feels like you don't know. I almost want to say it's almost like you don't know what clothes to put on. You don't know what to put on. You don't know what what ideas to adapt as your own. Is that the word I'm looking for? I guess adopt for yourself. What to buy into. So it's making you feel alone because you're not really choosing any sides. Some of you guys, not all of you. There may be just a little group of you that's like a matter of like choosing. Like it's a whole, like you might be feeling like, you know, or being told like, you know, if you don't stand for something, you know, you can fall. What is it like? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And it's like, but you don't know exactly what to stand for. So you feel kind of vulnerable in your position because you really don't trust, like some of you guys may not trust your options, or, you know, trust that you have all the information. Again, that might not be for everybody, but, you know, the side things I said. Let's do this one. Going forward. Yeah, again, going forward. It's like, and look at, see that, like, that fabric? I mean, the fabric is, it's like the bed sheet almost. It's like coming out, but then like you got this path too. So I feel like for some of you guys, it's a situation where it's like, I feel like some of you are tempted to keep going forward, and in keeping going forward though, tempted to like sleep through, like be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, or take things easy, whatever. I'm not saying that like you guys are specifically or anything, but it just feels like with this, the way that is, and it's like that. And some of you guys, it's like, you know, that is disguised as a path, and it's almost like she's looking over and like, maybe I could do that. And others of you, it's just, it's a path, and it's a matter of, I want to say like remembering the way back. You know, you're like wanting to know that when you do go, you can remember the way back in case you get lost, or in case it's not where you want to go. You know, you want to go forward, but you're like afraid, some of you guys, that, you know, it's not gonna, what if it's not all it's cracked up to be? You know, you want to be able to come back. Let's go with these. So, and I don't read reversals. So, 4 of Swords. This is, well, that's not even in the picture. So, the Tower. 4 of Wands. Wow, interesting. And King of Wands. Yeah, it's like, see, it's the same way. It's like tempted to just sleep. I feel like some of you guys, it is a situation where you've been sleeping. Yeah, it is. You've been sleeping and you're telling yourself, maybe you can just stay sleeping and just go forward. Maybe some of you guys, that might be the case to do it, but I don't think it's a full sleep though. It's got to be like a rest, and like, because the 4 of Swords card is basically, you know, it's resting in the mental and verbal realm, things like that. And like, as far as like boundaries, things like that, you know, the speaking and thoughts, all that. But it's resting with the mentality that you're saving up your strength, or you're regaining your strength to go back into battle. So it's not a full sleep. It's like a, let's let this take me forward. So in a way, it's kind of like that. It feels like you are guided. You're either, it's like you're guided. Some of you guys are guided, you know, in your path spiritually, you know, you have your guides and everything. And some of you, it may be like in a relationship situation as well. It's like, I feel like in your differences, it's like you're one, some of you. But then it's like, as you sleep, you know, the more you sleep on this, the more things are gonna fall down. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's not, I feel like what it is it's like, the more you sleep, the more what's not solid in the structure is gonna fall. But what happens is when it falls, the thing you've been in, this part, the whole part, holding cell, I want to say, for some of you guys have like been seeing this tower as comfy, whatever, or not comfy, but like not homey, but you know, like basically all you've known type thing. But really it's almost been like a holding cell, and you're kind of just realizing that that there's other options. But when it comes down, then what you're left with is 4 pillars. So 4 wands, and it's like this new ability to create a new foundation, I want to say a new foundation where you can take one realm and bring it to the other and vice versa. So it's almost like the idea of allowing heaven to come down to earth. It's like you're going to bring heaven to earth, but you don't have to be stuck in this holding cell. It's like as you sleep, I feel like some of you guys is sleeping, as long as your idea of what you're sleeping on is not like sleeping, but rather gathering your strength and planning and having your cards and really understanding that you've been, you felt alone, and some of you guys, you felt watched, but regardless, you're going to keep your strength and who you are. I feel like saying like some of you, like your role, what you do in here, it's almost like you're becoming active and not reactive. So it's like, instead of being like, well, I'm going to do this if you do this, I'm going to do this if you do this, I'm going to do that, you're keeping your cards to yourself. You're keeping your cards close to you. And you're like, okay, I know I'm being watched right now. So, but I don't want my actions to be based off of just being watched. Like, that's not it. I'm making my actions based off of what I want to do myself, where I'm being led. So it's like, as you do that, you sleep, it looks like, oh, you're just, not really doing anything, maybe being lazy. Not saying you are, but to outside, you could look like that. And then you go and like, let these things fall. You let these things crumble that are supposed to be, that have been holding you back, that you've been fighting even. And then you have this new opportunity. I was gonna say option, but maybe for you, some of you guys, it's an option situation. Yeah, some of you guys, it's an option situation, but it's a new opportunity for this new foundation, a new foundation where you can have like the flowing waters, the healing waters, I feel like quenching waters, whatever, even let's see the rainbow right there, like pouring out into this area. It can pour out, and I feel like saying it can make some areas solid, because this is like lava, and then when the water pours on it, it's like over time it cools and it becomes like obsidian. I mean, even obsidian, if you think about obsidian, is like a protective stone. So it, transmutes negative energies. I think that's, yeah. And blocks and, protects from negative energies. So it's like, after a while, your foundation, the area that the foundation becomes, like what it turns into once this is torn down, is like a place where good can flow into, I feel like saying, some of the areas in your heart, some of the areas in yourself, in your life, that you might not have been able to reach. You may not have been able to reach even some people, because it was all like crazy like this. And as soon as the water flows, but the water just naturally flows, you don't make it. It's like, as you trust in the process and let the things fall and crumble that are supposed to, then that's what happens. And then you come to this place of King of Wands. I know it's a King of Wands, but I see the 7 right here, so I'll go into that too. I want to say 7 of Pentacles. Normally I wouldn't be saying that though, but we'll see. But you come to this place of 7 of Wands. Let's do both. King of Wands, where it's like authority in this creative and passionate pursuits. And I want to say creative and passionate pursuits in the sense of like knowing your own voice, knowing your own creative abilities, your abilities to manifest new, your abilities to do all that, to create new. As far as the 7 of Wands, it ends up being a place where you're able to defend your territory, and you're able to say, no, this is what I stand for, not this holding cell anymore, and even not even needing to be asleep. I don't have to be asleep anymore, as far as 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles is more so like you get to this place to where now you have the freedom, not freedom, but you feel the freedom, you act in the freedom of being able to I want to say cross your T's, dot your I's, like really look at things detailed, look at, what you're doing. Some of you guys, in your finances, in your material, in the material realm, all that, like look into what you're doing and really see things for what they are, but also enjoy it. But like, stop and smell the roses, be able to take in, I want to say, the process, to the point to where you actually value the process. It's not like you're forced. It's not forced labor to where you're like, oh, I can't even see if I would have enjoyed this if I wasn't forced to do it. It's literally like this area of just having the freedom to see your circumstances, or see the pentacles, see the provisions, see the ability to get provisions, see your opportunities, all that stuff, financial stuff, everything, business stuff, in a different light, to where you see the freedom you have in it. So therefore you can actually see it more for what it's worth to you, actually, not with this other voice that's watching you. But all of this is about going forward. Let's go with this. Yeah, Ace of Cups, it's this new, I want to say new connection. It can be a new connection. Some of you guys, this is a new relationship or a new way to, you know, I want to say see yourself or live your passionate life, or, you know, maybe there's a, like a hobby you're getting into and you're flowing in your life. You're flowing in that, and it's like the blues, like all of this is starting to radiate in here, and it's just like, it gives you the freedom. I feel like for some of you guys, like this energy of this, either this new connection or this new hobby or this new thing that, you know, you're coming to this like emotional release place, this emotional connection place, is what gives you the strength, gives you the, almost like shades your world a new color, to where you're like, you know what, I can actually sleep on this, and I can let myself let this tower crumble. And it's also, it's like, I can let it, like, it's like, it's almost like for some of you guys, you have this new opportunity. Some of you, it's a matter of, I think, going back and forth between seeing it for what it is and being like, is this really what it is? But others of you, it's an idea of, hold on. Some of you guys are also questioning, literally, what is it? Like, this is a W. It's like W, you know, almost like water. I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, water, wine, whatever. But also, it can be like a backwards M. And it's like, okay, so is he getting a water there, or is he getting a meal there? So I feel like some of you guys are like questioning, like, you're getting this new connection, and it's like, what is this? Is this to heal me? Is this to nourish me, to feed? Like, I feel like some of you, it's not that you don't trust this new connection, those of you that this is a connection, it's that you just don't know how to receive it. And I'm not saying you're not receiving it, because it seems like you're, you know, but you don't know how to, like, you're not sure, like, where it's supposed to go, what it's doing for you, like, where in you is this supposed to get taken. And what it does is, it does take this, though, like, not take this, but start shading your life to the point to where you're like, okay, I have the right to take a break. I can take a break right now. So I feel like, oh, and so what I was saying is, for some of you guys, you're like, when you're questioning as to what is this, some of you guys are like trying to play it cool, meaning like, okay, I'm not as interested as I am in this. I don't want to appear it. And others of you, there's another group of you, though, that it's like more so a matter of, you're so sure this is yours, you're so sure and so connected to this, that like, you don't feel like you have to watch it like it's gonna get stolen from you any minute. You're like, no, this is mine. Like, you're coming into this King of Wands energy all the way over here. I'm not saying King of Wands, but this kingly energy, this energy of like, I know what's mine, I know what's given to me. And like, I want to say for some of you, it's like you're looking at spirit too. Like, it's like you're looking at spirit, God, universe, instead of like looking at your food and being like, okay, this is my food. This is, I'm worshiping this. You're literally looking at God, and you're like, you're looking at the one that gave this to you instead of just looking at this. So this is like changing everything to where it's literally like, I feel like you're starting to see the bigger picture, and you're starting to see that your opportunities and everything is not necessarily just a matter of your current circumstances, that there's like a bigger picture, and that you can have this manifestation. You can manifest better for yourself. You can receive that. You can receive all this new options, not even options. I keep saying options. Some of you guys keep looking at it as options when really it's opportunities, and it's, some of you guys might be feeling like it's options, so you don't know, but in reality, it's like, no, this is like your path. Like, this is the path. You go forward. It's not an option. I mean, it's an option, but it's not an option in the sense of, okay, you have all these different options. Pick one of them. Like, it's like, no, like, this is like your calling. Like, it's bigger than that. Let's go with this one. No, actually, let's go with this one. Reverse disassociation. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm just gonna go with those words real quick. Reverse disassociation. So a disassociation is disassociating you. So cutting you off from something. A reverse disassociation is like a serious connection. So it's like, almost like, I feel like in this connection, if this is a connection that you're in, those of you that this is a connection, okay, there's a group of you that this is a connection, and there's a group of you that this is you dealing with yourself and working on parts of yourself. Those of you that this is a connection, you feel like you're literally like two sides of the same coin. Like, you feel like you're coming together, like from the same place. Like, you might look at one side of the world and then the other person looks at the other side, but you literally start the same place. It's like you feel like it's the same core, and even like holding like it's like he holds the keyhole and he holds the key. And it's like this idea. I mean, I know it's a different key, but I feel it's still symbolic of that. Dark skies, light skies. Like, it's funny as this one looks forward, this one looks backward. So you guys might feel like there's like a tendency for one of you to look backwards sometimes more. But regardless, like, this is such a huge connection. Like, I mean, honestly, if I look at this, like, I don't like using all these terms so much, but it feels very twin flamey, like the same flame, like the same, yeah, energy. Like, this is like counterpart. Like, I mean, yeah, it's super, yeah. So some of you guys are dealing with a twin flame situation. Others of you, it's yourself. And you're starting to see like how to look at things from different angles instead of just think you're only there or you're only, you know, in that situation. Movement into balance. There you go. Still, again, going forward, movement into balance. And then honoring your energy. Yes. I like this, honoring your energy. Oh, here, I'll try to show you a little bit. Movement into balance. And then honoring your energy. And like, I like how it's like, this is the same color as this. So I feel like, oh, I need to change my music. Hold on. But yeah, it's funny. It's like, this is the water. It's almost like this is, I don't know, in relation to this card, it's almost like this is your energy. It's like all of it's balancing. Yeah. But it's like these flowers come from that same energy. So it's like almost like that water is what's like grown the flowers. So it's going upwards, and it's like honoring your energy. It's like honoring what you're called to do, what you're shown is you, what your rights are even, you know, just go forward in you and what's bringing you to life, what's moving you into balance. It's really beautiful. So I hope that resonated for you guys. Pile 1, let me know in the comments. And feel free to stick around to the other piles. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Hey, pile 2. So if you picked pile 2, this is your pile. So let's see what we got here for you guys. I think I want to do these guys first. I don't read reversals, so okay, we've got the star, Ace of Cups, the Hangman, interesting, and the High Priestess. So right away, I feel like I just noticed a similarity with the wings here. I mean, this whole deck is filled with wings, but I just feel it right now. So I feel like this, like, it's almost like this flamingo, like, transformed into this. So it's like, I feel like for some of you guys, pile 2, it's like, as you accept this new, whatever it is, like connection, or even like if you know, work into this new hobby, or I feel like for some of you guys, like, give yourselves the freedom or the what is it, like almost like not delegate, but reserve time for this new hobby or for something you're working on. Some of you could be even building something, but like a new hobby, a new something presenting itself to you in that way, that's like allowing you to pour out, I feel like, emotionally, or, you know, your passions in that. It is gonna feel like fuel you to be able to come to this place in yourself of this inner peace, of knowing that even if things are going chaotic outside, even if this is happening, even if you don't feel like you're on solid ground, you know, you're gonna have this peace in yourself to be able to go to this place where nothing else matters, where you know you're the light that shines. Like, it's almost like your light starts growing, and then it starts being able to support you in harder times, or in times where, you know, you're not sure about your footing. But ultimately, you start with hope. You start with this hope first. Like, this comes in after you start trusting that the universe, that, you know, that God has so much to give you and literally just wants to pour it out. But it's not even like from a cup. It's literally like, I mean, the star is there, but it almost looks like, it's like as if this is also the embodiment of that energy. And it's like, forget like pouring a cup from one place to another. Like, literally, like, pours out of like this thing, like this giant star thing, whatever, and it just like pours out. And it's like, that's the energy, is just like that, what God has for you, what Spirit, God, universe has for you, like, can't even be contained. So once you realize that, and once you have that hope and that trust to be like, okay, I'm ready, like, basically trust in the sense of going to a place in yourself of being like, not, oh, why, or not like, oh, when's this coming? Like, this isn't coming, it's not here yet, like this negative, but rather, okay, I know it's gonna come. So what do I need to do to prepare myself for this? You know, once you start getting into an energy of trusting that it's going to come, rather than trying to give reasons for why it must not be coming, or I want to say, there's some of you guys that feel like you might be supposed to be blessed, or you might be supposed to have like had this good fortune, and either like someone took it from you, or you feel like maybe circumstances that you did, you know, made it not happen. So some of you guys have been in this shame of like, either you robbed yourself of your own blessings, or someone else did, and it's like, oh, this is all what's gone now, and everything's gone, and now it's like limited. So some of you guys have like been in this energy of just like, that's not for me anyways, I must have screwed things up, you know? So once you get to a place of this hope of knowing that like, no, actually this still is for you, and that might have been then, I don't, you know, whatever circumstance, you or other people, whatever, but that's the past. Like, God's bigger than that. And as long as you have your eyes set and you're in alignment with what the universe is trying to give you right now, it's literally going to land in your lap. And it's like, and when it does, it's going to be this, it's going to be like this I mean, this can be the same thing. I feel like for some of you guys, this isn't the same thing. It just opens up that energy. So this can either be like a connection, a relationship situation, or like I said, like a hobby, something, you know, new coming in, this new potential for this, you know, energy, this release, this emotional, psychic, intuitive release, connection. It's like, but once you have this hope, I feel like for some of you, there's a group of you that you guys are intuitive and you guys are psychic in yourselves. And yeah, with the High Priestess card especially. And you like, once you start trusting that God can speak through you, that, you know, that you have these giftings, that, you know, that you can be used in people's lives, or you can bless people's lives with that and all that stuff. Once you start trusting in that, trusting that, you know, that path is for you, then you'll start being able to actually see the cup that's right in front of you. That's for the group of you that is like, you know, it's an intuition thing. And once you see that path, that the thing that's the cup that's right in front of you, it'll be like this idea, this concept of like building up your psychic intuition, building up your spiritual learning, spiritual growth. I feel like being a messenger, being able to hear what your guides are guiding to you to, showing you in, like you'll be able to literally like, it's almost like you'll be able to be like a wellspring. You know, you'll be able to be somewhere that like, you know, birds are like thoughts. So, or birds are like, you know, feather, wings like that. So it's like an air element. So it's almost like thoughts, mentality. And I feel like you'll be able to be something that like, or what you're working on will be able to be something that people's thoughts, people's questions can lay rest in, can be like, okay, you know what? I trust in what's being shown. Like, I just want to say you'll be able to speak into people's lives. For some of you, there's some of you that's not even your desire and you're not trying to do that. But the ones that aren't, you know, this could be like a relationship situation. But regardless, the more you open yourself up in this way, in the emotional, in the intuitive, spiritual, the more, you know, you have this hope that starts opening up, then the more then you can see yourself as this, you know, see the light in you that starts protecting you, that starts showing you where you've been and the peace that you can bring yourself, that you can trust in, that you can hold on to. And then you come to this place with the High Priestess in yourself, like this energy, you bring this energy of like literally like knowing when to go into the intuitive and go into the logical, when to use what, when to put on which face. You know, it's almost like the chariot. It's like guiding, leading. And it's like you start understanding that like your path in doing that, in understanding the spiritual, starts being able to guide and lead your life. That you start realizing like you have the reins, that you're not a victim. You're not in this victim mode of your circumstances, but rather, you know, you're blessed and you grow forward in this. Hold on. Okay. Obsession. It's funny, it's like, it's almost like a mirror here, but it's almost like a lens. I see it's like a giant contact lens. I know it's not necessarily, but it just makes me think of like a giant contact lens. So I feel like for some of you guys, like you felt like you need, what is that? It's like all twigs or something. Yeah, I feel like some of you guys have felt like wow, that's really heavy hitting. You felt like you've like needed to assume a role of like, what is it? I want to say like this wise old tree. Like you felt like you needed to assume this role. So like you put this giant contact lens in and then suddenly you can see right and you can see everything. It's almost like a crystal ball in your eyes. But it's like, but without this hope. So it's like You went to this place. I feel like some of you guys were like shown, you know, you're following omens, you're following stuff you've been told, everything as far as good things, you know, coming your way. But it's like you come to this place where it's like this obsession of it, instead of understanding that like this is all part of your path. It's not a worry about when it's coming, but rather what can I work on until it gets here type energy. So once you got so obsessed with it, it's almost like you pushed away what was coming to you more. Like you got further away energetically from being at the place to receive what was trying to come to you, the more you were trying to get it. The more you were trying in yourself to get it. The more you felt the need to put on this giant contact lens, assume the position in this, do that. It's like a 3. It's like really creative energy. But it's like you were trying to create yourself into this instead of realizing that you already had it, and you just had to allow yourself to blossom, to trust, to receive, to bring, you know what I mean? So some of you guys, what's kept you away from getting exactly what you're wanting, whether it is a spiritual thing, whether it is even like new relationship connection, this peace, this ability to see the difference of what's what and, you know, how you can grow. Some of you guys, like what's kept you away from it was trying to become it in your own understanding in the now, instead of understanding that when you're supposed to be it, when you're gonna become it, you'll be different. Your understanding will be different. So it won't match. I don't know how to describe. It's like who you are is limited to the now. Whereas when it's coming, the person you'll be will be then. So it's like if you try to receive what's then and put it into a little box that's limited by what you can accept now, you won't actually get that picture. I hope that makes sense. So I feel like that for you guys. Yeah. The Lovers. Yeah, you guys are trying to make a choice too. I mean, the Lovers card, wow. There's also an element of, again, two becoming one, like really like, I mean, the Lovers is very much about a path, like which path you choose. You know, one path leads one place, another path leads another, and just, you know, understanding the responsibilities that come with both, and understanding the responsibilities or what you're losing or what you're giving up when you take one versus another. And I feel like for some of you guys, it's an element of maybe, I feel like some of you guys may have been burnt in a past relationship situation, and that's why you had this energy, and that's why you had this obsession to not make it that way again, to change yourself and this and that. But it's like you forced it so much because you were so afraid. Some of you guys were so afraid of, God, I want to say getting lost in each other, getting lost, losing your voice, losing yourself, losing your passion, losing your potential to be a high priestess. So it's like the more you were afraid of that, it's like the more like fiery energy you created, to where it was like this creative energy, but then you weren't really there yet. So you like applied it to these places in yourself. It wasn't really calling any that energy. I don't know how to describe that, but it's kind of, I also feel like these are like, I mean, I don't know what they are, but it almost makes me, since these are like birds right here, it makes me think of like eggs that are like broken and open and stuff. So I feel like it's, again, it's this energy of like having opened up things before they were ready, like almost like eggs and things like that, like opened up stuff before it was ready, before it was like fully like gonna be a bird, like they opened. I know that's not exactly what it's showing. I can't really see what it's showing, but I know that's not what it is, but that's what I'm feeling. So it's like this idea of like doing that, either doing this and trying to assume the position and do all this stuff and everything without actually having the hope, makes it to where you're like opening up things before it's ready. And so then like I mean, it's almost like if you're trying to have like a hard-boiled egg, yet you like crack it open when it's like before you even cook it. I know that's not the same thing, but it's that kind of energy of like, it doesn't mean it's not going to become the right thing. It's just, if you try to push it when the circumstances aren't right, it's not going to be what you want it to be. It's not going to be what you're expecting. And I feel like that's kind of what happened there. And then, you know, like I said, from there you went to this fiery energy of, okay, I'm going to try to create something different. But again, without the hope. So again, you're creating within yourself and from a place of obsession instead of trusting the universe. Voyage. Yeah, because I mean, look at this. It's like you got the whale here and then a whale here. So it's like this whale holds up this whale. So like, I feel like for some of you guys, there's like an element of almost like monkey see, monkey do. Like there might be, okay, there's two things here. There might be a group of you where it's like you've seen like your parentals or your like upbringing, and it felt like like I said, like jealousy, like maybe siblings took stuff or something happened, you know. So you've equated God, you know, spirit, God, universe, any kind of blessing element to what you went through in your childhood. So you're like, okay, I'm limited by what my parents are willing to carry me as, or I'm limited by what I was shown as a child, you know, can carry me. So it's like, if they're not willing to do the work, then I'm not going to be carried. So it's like, I feel like that. I feel like some of you guys, it's like this, like some of you might be a mother situation, literally, or it's like siblings. But it's this idea of like, there's always going to be someone in the way. I feel like hearing like, there's always going to be someone else that needs the attention more. So, you know, like almost like the energy of like, I don't want to ask too much because, you know, it's just little old me. Like there's people that are much more in need than me. That kind of energy, like this false humility, or this like where you're beating up on yourself. And it's like, you need to understand it's a voyage, and part of carrying you is even the voyage for the other person. Part of helping you, if that's what they're supposed to do, if that's like that's a blessing for them, whether they understand that or not. It's a blessing to get to learn and to see how they can pour into your life that way. And the same thing for you. It's a voyage for you that you were carried. Doesn't mean you have to always be in that voyage. Sometimes, you know, it's a different place, a different element that's carrying you. But yeah. Jeez. Contemplate death and beyond. Okay, yeah, so again, I feel like this is like a family figure that was like really like worried and distraught in your life and upbringing, and it's like showed you that like everything has a price. And you know, like it's not like, look at her eyes, they're so not sad but like worn. I feel like I'm reading this card more intuitively with this, but like really sad, and not sad, like worn, like, oh, I've been through a lot, you know, like really tired and worn eyes. And it's like kind of like the, oh, don't hope too much because you don't want to get let down, you know, that kind of energy. So like, it's like contemplate death and beyond. Well, if you're contemplating death and beyond without the understanding of life and how big it can be and how bright and bold and beautiful and transformative, yeah, you're just going to get stuck contemplating death and beyond, because then it becomes more powerful to you. So I feel like that's kind of like the energy you're coming in with, because that's like what some of you guys may have been raised with, or you've been like, you know, tempted maybe to go to, is this thing of worrying and fearing and not understanding the positive things that can be coming forth. So that kind of just becomes more powerful in your mind. Again, like I said, some of you guys, that's because that's how you were raised. I feel like also that's how you were raised. And look at that. It was covering up the moon. So it's covering up your intuition. So some of you guys had this, like, I want to say mother figure, but family figure, parental figure, whatever figure, maybe even, you know, sibling, whatever, overshadowing you to the point to where, like, you felt like you were carried by them, but they also blocked your connection or your view of spirit. It blocked your view of being able to trust your intuition, maybe even like pushed you away from your intuition. Oh, don't listen to that. Oh, don't listen to this. You know, like that kind of energy for some of you guys. But I do feel like it's like if he looks down, he could see that this light's shining. It's like, whoa, where's that coming from? Because, you know, like, so it's almost like there's I want to say like, evidence in your life, in different times in your life, of the beauty of God's hand. Maybe even in your path. But like, you couldn't really see, like, because you were so overshadowed by, this is how it must be, and I am your covering. You know what I mean? Like, some of you guys, this feels like coming out of a religious cult or some kind of cult. Might be like a small group or like one person coming out of a cult. This is like what you're dealing with. Especially with that. Oh, that's creepy. Sorry. Just the energy is like super heavy. And I feel like this person is like, this version is like looking at this person and like, okay, so that you got this, you did this, you did this. Okay, fine. Let me put mine on. Let me try to be like you. Let me try to be like this. I mean, I'm not saying you were trying to be exactly like family, but it's just like you haven't had very much experience of like very much good, what's it called? Examples around you. Struggle, yeah. And emotional release. Yeah, so look at that. I put it right there on emotional release. I think this is an emotional release that's literally ready to be held by you, to be worked on, built up by you. You just have to have the hope to be doing that, or receiving it and seeing it that way. But it's like struggle. It's like when I first put this card down, I saw it as a bird, because like all the birds, but then I look and this is a fish. So it's like swimming an uphill battle, like you're swimming upstream. And it's like, it's a struggle. But I feel like, look, it's almost like it is a fish. I want to say it is almost like a hybrid bird fish. I know it's not supposed to be, but that's the way I saw it. So it's this idea that it's like, you might think you're just a fish that, you know, it's going to be hard swimming upstream. But it's like, how the heck is she floating? If she can't fly, then why is she floating? Why is this one, she, he, whatever, why are they floating if they can't fly? If fish can't fly, why are they flying? So then it's like, maybe you do have wings and you just never knew it. Maybe, you know, it's like you've always thought that you have to be carried by someone else. But maybe the fact that someone else can fly means that you could fly along. And I'm not saying you have to be just like them, but it's like your species, you know, like, why do you have to be limited? Why do you have to just be a fish? No, it looks like you're a bird and you can actually come out of that and fly and do all this other stuff. So, and have that emotional release when you do that. It's like, in order to do that though, you have to have this emotional release and let go of these things that have held you back, things that have told you, you know, you can't do this. You have to contemplate death beyond and beyond. You have to look at this way. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to see things this way. You have to release that, have the emotional release in yourself about it, about how that hurt you, how that affected you, you know, forgive yourself for even buying into it, for being limited by it, you know, forgive them, forgive those people, forgive all that energy. So that you can start seeing that you don't have to be this fish, but rather you can be this bird and fly up and be like, okay, cool. Like, you know, like you can be a fish and a bird. You have both options. You don't have to just be a fish. Not that there's anything wrong with a fish, but yeah. So I hope that resonated for you guys. That was crazy. It's like, and there's water element, air, fire, like there's so much here. There's the bird there too. It's like, yeah. So yeah, I hope that resonated. Let me know in the comments what did and didn't. And if you guys are going to stay through to my other readings, I will see you then. Otherwise, I will see you next time, and I will put these decks in the description below as well. Thanks. Hey, pile 3. So if you picked pile 3, this is your pile. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go with, actually, this first. Truth. I feel like some of you guys are seeking truth right now. And it's the idea of, I feel like it being blown in the wind, like either blown away in the wind, or also like blown in the wind, like you feel like it might like blow your way, like it's coming in. I feel like also like maybe your environment or, you know, things you're around, the stuff around you is like changing according to the truth being revealed and coming out. And there's also this element of, I feel like some of you guys, like you need to speak your truth, or you need to make sure your truth, like you're not representing your truth, but kind of in the sense of like, even if like it's you blowing this wind, you know, it's like, it's gonna move things, it's gonna change the stuff and everything, but there's nothing wrong with your truth affecting your environment. You know, it's, I mean, you have just as much right to be there, a key player in your environment, as anything else. So, let's go with these. Wait, actually these. So past, present, and future. So, I mean, there's also an element of like truth in that. Like, I feel like things change, like as you allow the truth to change things, your past, present, future. It's like a whole like cycle happens, and it changes stuff, even changes the perception of things, like as you're allowing this truth to, I want to say, take hold of your environment, like to really like change it up, take hold of, I feel like saying like keep it accountable, you know, things like that. It's like the past, present, future. The present and future don't have to look like the past did. So it's like this new cycle, and everyone's like, it's all like looking different directions. And like, I say the looking different directions because it's like, once you have the truth change your path, or change this, you know, path you're on, or, you know, your past, present, future, it's like suddenly you start seeing different options. Like you see more than just one small area, but rather you see the ability to turn around, to look around. Like you start being able to, I almost want to feel like for some of you guys, like once you get the truth showing, you have this ability now, I want to say like to circumvent your area, to almost like meander around it, to where like you create this bubble of, I want to say truth, but you create this bubble of like really perception, where it's like you can actually see all this. It's almost like in a video game or whatever, like scouting areas, you know, before you go there, and like it opens up the map. That's kind of what I feel like for some of you guys. It's like this truth coming out is going to open up the map and open up things so that you can have a more thorough perception, where it's not just you only can look one way, but you can see all different areas. Let's go with this. So the Two of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Fool, and the Star. It's weird. I feel like for some reason I imagine the bird, like, because the Star card is about hope, and I imagine the bird getting worms from the skeleton's eyes. And like just this idea of, you know, past, present, future, like all the different stages, but there's still life happening, there's still healing, there's still growth, even though there might be seeming like there's dead areas. So it's like, it's this hope. It's like, well, what is your perception? Are you looking through the bird's eyes? Are you looking through the person? Are you looking through, you know, it's this idea that there's like hope regardless of what's going on in one picture versus another. Two of Cups is, it can be a connection. I mean, some of you guys might be dealing with a romantic connection, a relationship, but it can also just be, you know, a partnership. Just, you know, it could even be a business situation, anything like that. I feel like there's like this person here. I feel like in some ways, like, it's like this partnership, this connection, where it's like you're literally holding something dead together. So some of you guys may be in a situation where it's like, you're balancing on each other, but you're balancing on each other in order to, whether you know it consciously or not, in order to keep something that has been dead for a while, has been done for a while, like together, I want to say, like keep it together, keep it from falling apart, even though it's like dead. So it's like, it's a matter of, I mean, again, needing truth on that, truth to see what things are, see things for what they are. I feel like also in order to keep this together, you're literally like assuming two different roles. You're assuming this bird, this like in your head mindset, and then like this human mindset of just like, I feel like saying like this emotional vulnerability. So it's like you're literally like assuming two totally different identities. I want to say for some of you guys, like maybe you guys are like in a double life situation where it feels like, you know, in order to keep this relationship together, or in order to keep this business together, or keep something together, you guys literally like are kind of two-faced. And like whether you're two-faced to keep it together or whether you just become that when you're in this situation, like that's kind of what's going on. But it, you know, ultimately comes down to the Queen of Swords of, you know, needing to have influence, or feeling the need to have influence in the mental and the verbal. And I feel like it is for the mental. It's like, it's almost like, I feel like for some of you guys, it's a situation where like you're putting these two faces on to keep this together because you want to control the perception. See the perception card here, past, present, future. You're trying to control like what this really is seen as. Like some of you guys may feel like you are holding something together that's dead, and you're just like, you're trying to control what it's seen as because you don't want to have to come to that place where you actually are like, oh wow, okay, this has been dead this whole time. So it's like you're going to this place of, you know, influencing the mental, influencing verbal, you know, trying to make sure the wrong things don't come out. It's almost like when I was younger, when I was like a kid, like if it was my bedtime and like I knew it was way past my bedtime but my parents didn't notice or anything, and we were, say like we were watching TV or something, I would literally consciously be like, okay, I can't say anything that is going to make them want to check the clock or make them think about time. So I'd be very careful about my wording, very careful about everything. It's almost like I'd be almost like Queen of Swords as far as like manipulating, you know, mental, like, okay, I want to control this. I want to make sure this doesn't happen. I want to influence my environment. I want to make sure I don't say anything, or I do put down boundaries and make sure that it doesn't go this way, it doesn't go that way, you know, that type of thing. So it's like, I feel like in trying to do that, like literally you've been doing this, and it's, I feel like for some of you guys have grown in this, but this has become like a manipulative tendency some of you guys might have had of like, you know, controlling the the mental and the verbal and like putting down boundaries, but it's almost become like this manipulative place of, I need to control what's around me so that I control what's perceived rather than actually like what is. And it's stemmed from always feeling like you have to put on this face with this connection. This could also be like, you might be, some of you guys, you know, really like how you were raised, like maybe you and your family or you and your mother or something like that, like you always kept up pretenses and to hold something that maybe seemed dead or was dead, and to keep from seeming dead or to keep from looking dead, and it just being about, oh, your faces, you look regal, you look whatever, you know. And then now you're coming to this place, you're like, wow, like I have a lot of manipulative tendencies. And it's like, it's almost like a mask, like she's taking it off. She's like, whoa, who have I been this whole time? So it's like, I feel like some of you guys are in this place where you're like, you're coming to a place of shedding truth on this, but then it's also shedding truth on it. So it's like, as more truth is shed, you're seeing yourself for what you are. And some of you guys are coming to this place of the Fool card where it's like, you know, well, you know what? I want to be open to what the universe has to give me. I want to be open to this new opportunity, this new connection. If it is a connection, if there is a situation like that. But in general, you want to be open to this opportunity, to this new adventure of basically almost like, I feel like saying some of you guys like are wanting life to come in and show you what it's made of, kind of, without having to have been this people or this person. So you're like trying to start new and trying to have this new energy, and you're trying to have hope. But the thing is you're still, I feel like some of you guys are still eating from the thing. So when you're having hope in this, you're partially having hope to do this, but partially it's like, well, you're still eating from the thing that's dead. So some of you guys might be saying, okay, I want to break free from these toxic patterns or toxic things I've been raised with, and I want to see things for what they are. I want to blow the truth out onto my life, whether that's, you know, past, present, future, and how things will change, it'll change. But then you're still kind of like eating from this area. You're still like maybe keeping ties or keeping mentalities, connections, maybe I don't know. And some of you guys are letting yourself do it because you're saying, well, it's letting me have hope. Like, I still have hope. Some of you guys have hope that this will change or that you were wrong or something like that. A hunting we will go. Like, it's like, you know, like you're, I almost feel like it's like they said, like, a hunting we will go. So it comes back to this. And it's like, ultimately you come back here. As soon as you eat there, you come back to this mentality of buying into that need in the first place, of holding something dead as if it's alive, and like basically treating it like, I almost want to say it's almost like a full cycle. Like I said, like past, present, future, change and cycle. You know, when things blow over, blow the truth on everything, change everything. But it's like, as soon as it goes back here, it all gets muddled again, to where it's like hard to tell what stage you're in, or even the fact that you need to change things. I feel like some of you guys deal with that. Let's do this. Temperance. Yeah. So some of you guys, I mean, you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, or you have Sagittarius in your charts. I mean, if I go back at that, there's water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Swords, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Yeah. And like I said, Sagittarius. But also the thing about Sagittarius, or not Sagittarius, Temperance, is the Temperance card is a matter of combining things that don't necessarily seem like they belong to create a new product. So it's almost like an alchemy situation. So I feel like it's like you're doing this, and it is an alchemy. You're doing that, like it's almost like you're creating a new product, but in reality it's like, as you create the new product, it's how like everything's like the same color, everything's like drab in that way and everything. I feel like you're staying like, yeah, because even this, like, look at that, it's got the wings right here, but in my head I was seeing giant like 80s sleeves, puffy sleeves. So it's like, it's almost like you're telling yourself that you're human, or that you're just like them, or you're just like this, when in reality you have so much more to give, and you have so much more understanding of being better than that, like of not needing to succumb to that manipulation and control in that way. So it's like you have more potential in that way to do good in this situation, but you're kind of seeing yourself as like them in some ways. So it's like in doing that, you kind of just like join in their alchemy, join in what they think they need to do in order to make this picture. But it's like, you don't have to make the picture. You don't have to change the past, present, future. You don't have to change people's perception. Literally, you just need to like actually have things change, not, focus on, what people are allowed to see, because maybe it might bring out the truth, or it might bring, I feel like, not negativity, but, stuff against you or whatever. Let's go with this one first. Experience rebirth. Yeah, you're in this place of needing to experience this rebirth. Instead of coming back here, you're needing to. It's interesting though. It's like, this is like almost like a mother figure, and it's got like 3 faces. And then this kid has like 2 versions. It almost makes me think of like Schrodinger's cat, where it's like, okay, well, the cat goes in the microwave, the experiment. And it's like, okay, well, you open the microwave up, and the cat is both alive and dead at the same time. Because it's like, well, what is your perception? What dimension are you looking at? What are you looking at? What story are you looking at? So it's like, you can look at this and see regalness, and you can see, affluency and all that. Or you can look at this and you can see that they're literally holding up this dead thing, and like you can see so many different versions in the same picture. Like you can look at this and see this girl running away from a face she's put on, or you can see this as she's chosen to take it off, and she actually is holding her power in that. Like there's so many different things you can see and ways you can look at everything. So I feel like this is like saying, like, you can experience rebirth to a place of being able to see all of it, the past, present, future, the perception, see all of it at once. So you're no longer tied to this, or tied to, she has ruffle feathers or ruffle sleeves, or she has feathers. Like you can see all of it as at once. You can see, just like Schrodinger's cat, you can see everything at once. So you start being able to understand that your perception has been skewed, or that your perception you can actually adjust. You don't have to adjust other people's perception, but rather you adjust your own perception to start creating, manifesting the reality that you're wanting, the truth that you're wanting. You start bringing out the truth. You start showing things for what they are, your truth especially. Peaceful among thorns. Yeah, it's like you can be in chaos, but you can choose your perception and say, okay, I'm going to bring my truth, so that I'm not succumbing to this chaos, yet I'm also not, is that the word, succumbing? I'm also, I don't know if that's the word, not buying into it to the point where I feel like I still need to eat the worms from the skull. Like I'm not buying into that. It's almost like they're bird people, and finally you got this one that's like full bird, and it's like, okay, well, I'm a bird person, or I'm a bird now. And it's like, but I'm going to eat these worms from the skull. And it's like, well, that skull was from there in the first place. That brings them back here, and then suddenly they're a bird person again. And it's like almost like, I feel like it's almost like instinct, as far as like animal instinct versus human manipulation, versus like human, like, okay, and there's nothing wrong with being human, but you're not supposed, you're not being called right now to use that, your humanity, to control others, but rather to understand that you have the opportunity to control how your environment affects you. You have the opportunity to choose peace in yourself and trust, or go to this place where you just let your environment control you and you become like the thorns. So I hope that resonated for you guys. It's kind of interesting. Let me know in the comments what did and didn't. Feel free to continue staying on for the pile 4. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks. Oh yeah, and I'll put the decks in the description below. Thanks. Hey, pile 4. So if you picked pile 4, this is your pile. Envious gluttony. I feel like this is like the idea of like being so envious that it's almost like you're a glutton. Like it's like you're feeding on your envy. So some of you guys might be dealing with a situation where it's like you feed on your envy so much that it's like that you're almost starving yourself from your own experience in your own life. So it's almost like you're starting to starve and you've been starting to starve in your life because you're too worked up about what is, you know, in someone else's court, or, you know, what someone else has. That it's almost like, yeah, like it's like you're so worked up about that you're not willing to eat or be nourished in your own court, in your own life. Yeah. Let's go with this. I don't do reversals, but... So this is King of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Lovers. I feel like I've gotten this combo of cards many times, and I shuffled. No, this time I actually I pulled individual, with the cards closed. It's like this combo of cards I keep getting from this deck. Oh, wow. So I feel like some of you guys may have started in this energy of King of Pentacles. And the way I read King of Pentacles is almost like an investor mindset, like being willing to invest and trusting the universe in what's coming. So you always, are open to investment opportunities. And therefore, you start attracting better investment opportunities. And it just grows from there. However, in this card... some of you guys may be dealing with you may be having heard had somebody tell you, this and this is going to happen for you as far as, finances. You might have had this looks like a crystal ball almost to me. It makes me think of, I know it's not, but it makes me think of that. So it's some of you guys may have had some kind of prophecy, prediction, like a psychic word given to you that you're gonna come up on riches and all this wealth and stuff like that. I feel like maybe even some of you guys may be having inheritance, an inheritance in your hand, and it's just that's what you're operating from. That's where your confidence about everything's gonna work out is coming from, of either what you are hoping for based off what you've been told or what you've been given, and you've kind of I want to say clothed yourself in, not necessarily physically clothed yourself, some of you guys, but in general you've cushioned yourself by this. You believe this to be a cushion for you. And I feel in doing that, I feel some of you guys, Seven of Wands is usually fighting the people trying to come take your territory, but I feel in reality some of you guys have used that to back off opportunities, other opportunities of something else, of creative pursuits, of places you can, I feel saying you can stick your energy in, you can pour your energy into, you've kind of just beaten them off. And I feel some of you guys, it's kind of absentee, maybe it's a contract or a document that did that it's okay, you signed it and it's done, but your face isn't really there. It's just you know what I mean? You closed all the doors. Some of you guys, that might not be for everybody. But regardless, I feel there's still this opportunity, this one opportunity in the middle of all of it. So it's you might have closed doors, you might have done all this, but there's something still that keeps kind of pushing forward to you. And you've been trying to fight everything off, thinking, well, I got everything. I got this cushion. I'm good, like that. And it's you're trying to fight everything off, and you have this one thing that keeps coming through, And what it is it's almost like, I mean, some of you guys, this is the energy it is, and some of you guys, it's a person. So hold on, let me think. Let me get this real quick. Okay, so this opportunity is coming to you. And some of you guys, like I said, it's a person that's coming to you, or it's someone fighting this battle for you, or fighting you, where it's like they're fighting the battle for you to help you, but ultimately because you're fighting any opportunities like this, you're fighting them. So they might be like fighting on your behalf or for your side and fighting for you, but it's coming to this place where it's like this chaos, like fighting them. Some of you guys, this is also a romantic thing. This is like, you know, this is you, and then the other person would be, you know, coming in full wholehearted, you know, like really hard on their sleeve kind of, but I feel like kind of willing to go off into, not the sunset, but into the dark, into, I know there's stars here, but I almost feel like that's just like the unicorn or the horses doing, and really like they're prepared to go off into darkness and like float away into it. So it's like some of you guys may not feel like you can trust this person as much as they're right there sticking out. You know, you're not sure you can trust, not that their intentions, but trust that they'll make it okay, because they're kind of wishy-washy, blow with the wind, hard on their sleeve, and like all over the place passions type. And that's kind of what's kept you guys apart. It's kept you apart because you have this situation where it's like you're so seeing them differently and pushing them away so much. And some of you, it's because you're holding on to this other ideal of, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna get. So you're holding on to it so much that it's like that envious gluttony of like, well, this is what I want. So I'm saying no to this. Like, you know, like get away. And so you're driving a wedge, I feel like, either between you and this other person, whether it's romantic or, you know, you and this other person. You're driving this wedge between them as you know, like I said, put up all these different, you know, I guess force fields. That's not the word I was looking for, but, and so some of you guys, like I said, this is a romantic connection. This is like you and them, and you guys are just kind of going together on the same path. But like I said, they were supporting this. They were supporting all these things coming at you. So that's why it's like going the same way as you. But ultimately, like, you fought them on the way, even though you guys are kind of doing the same thing, but you fought them. Also, for those of you that this is a love situation, it's like it feels like it's driving that wedge between you. It's making you be in this position almost like a crosswords again. I said it, crosswords. I mean, maybe there's crosswords again said, stuff like that said in this while you're putting these boundaries down, but like this crossroads of, you know, like making a decision, like, are we together or are we separate on this? Like, what are we doing? Some of you guys, I feel like you feel like there's a third party, or maybe you feel like, you know, spirit or God, you know, is waiting for you to make this decision so you can move forward, or so you can have this, you know, because you're thinking you're supposed to be getting this. But I feel like in wanting that, you've been, you know, putting this wedge up between you guys. And part of it is like, you feel like this decision needs to be made, and you feel all this stuff because you feel like you're being watched. I feel like, and some of you may feel like you're not even able to, if you were to get temptation or have like temptation in your life, like say temptation to let loose or have fun or do what you want to do, you're not even able to do it because of like this wedge between you, and then like this position you guys are in together. Like, even if you wanted to pick up that apple, you can't pick it up. It's like, I feel like this energy of like, this whole thing is so in your way that you can't even have the freedom to make the choices for yourself. Like, and you're so stuck on this that literally it's like you're starving yourself, even in this situation, that you can't even work together. It's like some of you guys are dealing with that. God, that's really crazy. Let's go with this. 9 of Cups. And some of you guys, it is. It's like this 9 of Cups energy of, I'm good, I got it. I'm good, I'm satisfied on my own. But I feel like it's like, I mean, if those of you that you're supposed to end this, whatever, you know, you make your own decision. But you need to understand, like, you're making this decision by doing this. But it's like, I almost want to hear, like, I want I'll have my cake and eat it too. It's like he's got the bird out of the cage, but like, what feat is it really? Like, what kind of, like, what is he achieved if he just got this bird out of a cage? It's like, that was out of the cage, like the bird's home, you know? So it's like, he feels like he's got like all this stuff he's done, he's accomplished, but literally that was like almost like hand given to him. So it's like, what is this? Like, this thing that you're wanting so much, if you close out every other opportunity to where there is no choice but this to happen, how great is that thing? I don't know exactly what this is about specifically. I mean, I think this is different people, it's different, but it's like, it could even be a person. Like, this could be a third party situation. And it's like, if you're holding on to this other vision, this other person, this dream, and it's like, well, how great is that dream if the only reason that dream is working or is there for you because you closed out everything else to where nothing else can live? You know what I mean? It's almost like, I feel like that. Like, it's almost like you destroyed the soil, so only certain plants will be living anyways. So, like, what's so special about that plant now? You know, so I feel like it's this energy of, like, almost like you need to be careful, because part of this coming through, whatever this is, relationship, business opportunity, whatever, part of this coming through is you being in your natural realm, you making your decisions, not as if you were looking for this only, but literally like being true to yourself, you know, like not having this envious gluttony situation where it's almost like you're jealous, and not jealous, but you know what I mean? You're like holding on to that and like not even allowing anything to come through. But yeah, it's like, it feels like a false sense of security. It's like 9 of Cups is generally like, you know, being proud of what you've accomplished, understanding, trusting that you're safe on your own now, that you know, you've got this. It's a solidarity. But in this situation, it feels almost like it's a false sense of it, for a lot of you. Embrace meditation. It's like, okay, we're saying embrace meditation, but there's this person, there's different states of it. And then there's, you know, the sun and the moon here. I feel like this is like, again, it's like, be willing to let go of this. Be willing to go to a place where you're okay whether this is yours or not. And then from that place, make your decisions. Not where this has to be yours, so now you can't see anything but that opportunity. And it's like, well, obviously that's not your higher self, because your higher self doesn't need that to be happy. Your higher self is going to be happy regardless of hard circumstances, because it's like it'll understand, you know, the bigger picture in things. It'll understand that you bring your peace. So it's like, you have to come to this place of meditation, of trust, of releasing the need for this in order to be happy, so that you can even get whatever this version, you know, the version of this for you is, whether that's that or something else. But it'll be when you're ready, not when you force everything. Integration and inner journey. Yeah, it's like, this is an inner journey. This is something where you can't make this decision. You can't do all this from this place, at least not correctly, not, you know, being true to yourself, from this place of, I'm not happy unless I get this. You have to integrate your life. You have to integrate your happiness. You have to integrate this into your life, not you into this life, but this into your life. You change yourself, and then this starts coming through. But you change yourself for you, not changing yourself like changing, but like basically, like I said, coming to a place where you're malleable in yourself, that you're able to be happy with or without this. And as you do that, you can actually flow and go in this journey in your life. You can have this integration where it's like, it's almost like, it makes me think of like, those, as an ecosystem. I think it was like ecosystem fish tanks, where there's the fish tank on the bottom, and then the top there's like, it's like growing plants and stuff, and so it's like it's like this symbiotic relationship where they're all helping each other type, but neither side knows of the other. And I just feel like that it's like this energy that like you need to understand that you don't have to know about this to make this come through. You just have to do you, and then if that's supposed to happen, it'll come through. But it's like you don't have to. Yeah. And then inner journey, because this is an inner journey. Abundance, yeah. You trust in the abundance, not in, abundance has to look like this, or I will only be happy if I have this, but literally trust in that abundance will come in any way, shape, or form in your path. So therefore, that way you start actually trusting in the path, and therefore you start trusting to be able to hear clearly what you're actually supposed to do. I hope that's resonating for you guys. It's kind of, yeah, all over the place. As far as this goes, there's Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and Lovers can be Gemini, can be dealing with. But yeah, you can have any of those signs in your charts, or the people you're dealing with. Or, I mean, it could be any other sign too, but that's what's showing up right there. So, I hope that resonates for you guys. Let me know in the comments what does and doesn't, and then I'll put the decks in the description below as well. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.